Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Good morning on this fabulous football Friday. It's a weird Friday because we have a Monday. Monday's going to be kind of our Friday preview, so it's a weird one. But we got great wild card games all over the weekend. Is this the best weekend of football? I think it might be. And if this wild card weekend is anything like the NFL season has been, boy, we could be in for some really, really interesting things. Lots of storylines going around. We get to sit back and take it all in and then wait for our Buccaneers to play on Monday night, which is going to be one hell of a spectacle. And I got to tell you, though, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me going to Lightning games or whatever. But is there a buzz here in Tampa Bay for this game? Is it just me? I kind of feel like maybe it's because it's Monday that we're just not charged up yet. I don't know. It feels kind of weird. Tickets are still very much available. I'm very concerned that there's going to be 30% Cowboy fans. I don't want to see that, but I'm very concerned that might be the case. But either or, we do have a spotlight primetime game on Monday night, and I couldn't be more jacked up for it. This is going to be, and this, quite frankly, is going to determine how this season is perceived. 1,000%. So we're going to jump all up in this 10 ways to Sunday. Coming up here on the show, we had Rondé Barber on yesterday. If you missed it, don't worry. We're going to reclip some of the X's and O's he gave us for the Cowboys and Buccaneers, which I thought was just really, really good. And he studies these games just like as a hobby. So he lays it down for you. And as I sit here today, and I did a little bit more research last night, I've been trying to be as optimistic as I can, but I'll reveal what I feel here in just a little bit. Oh, everybody's on the edge of their seat. Nobody cares. I'll say good morning to you, Nick Geddes. How are you?
I'm jacked up for Monday. I'm ready to roll. You said this is the best.
So you say you're not going to go to the game?
Well, I have to work. I have to work
right.
that night. So I will be in my friendly confines back in Fishhawk. But no, I'm jacked up for this game. And you said it's the best football weekend of the year.
Oof. Yes.
Typically, I would disagree with you, but this is the third weekend that we've gotten to see the Buccaneers play on this weekend. So now it is the best weekend because the playoffs used to just be something that I would just be like, if I see it, I see it. If I don't, whatever, Right. But now we got Buccaneer football. And yes, it's on a Monday, but standalone, the Buccaneers, who would ever thought the Bucs would be playing a standalone game in the wild card round like they are going to be doing on Monday against the Dallas Cowboys.
The star on the helmet. Stephen A. Smith's bringing his show to the convention center on Monday.
Well, First Take's coming to the convention center on Monday?
Convention center on Monday, yeah.
Wait a second.
You got to get down there. You'll be all the Cowboy fans will be there.
Can you do the show alone?
What's that?
Can you do the show alone?
No, of course not.
Oh, well, then I can't get down there.
Well, maybe we'll go down there, do our show from there too. We could do that.
We could pack it all up.
Why not? We could do that. But I we'll do our own show. I think we'll be a little bit more informative for the people here in Tampa Bay. Not as, but I do enjoy the hyperbole. If there's one thing I do enjoy from Stephen A. Smith, it's that hyperbole.
I am so ready for Tuesday morning if all goes well.
Oh my God!
I will tune in on Tuesday morning while we're doing our show here.
That's the only reason he's here.
Yeah.
Just because of that whole Cowboys
He's
thing.
here to troll the Cowboys.
Oh, absolutely.
And I would love it if tomorrow he stayed one more day, assuming the Bucs win. Let's say the Bucs win. Stay one more day.
I think they would do that on Tuesday.
Yeah, and I want to see him with the Prescott jersey and the cigar and the big hat. I want to see it all.
Yeah.
I want to see it all.
All right, so here's the show today. Brian Bradley's going to join us at 10:30, and we'll talk about the Lightning's 5-4 win last night over Vancouver. What a bizarre game that was. Oh, my God. That was such an interesting game. So entertaining on so many levels. Half the crowd leaves, and I don't blame them, before Stamkos scores. Well, I do blame him. You should stay to the end. I mean, there was freaking history to be made last night, 500. So I just don't get why people leave early. You pay all that money for those tickets. The traffic is not that bad. Plus, you can always come over to the Cigar City tap room, let the traffic weed out, and hang out with me and Brian Engblom for the last call. I mean, what's better than that? We had a great crowd last night. But people left early and they missed not only Stammer scoring $4.99 maybe, but also this incredible comeback by Vancouver. And if not for a 10-bell save by Andre Vasilevsky on a 2-on-0 with literally at the horn, he stops Lazar with an incredible glove save, and the Lightning escape with a white knuckler 5-4 win over a struggling Vancouver team. So a lot of good last night, a lot of bad, but we'll get to Cooper. We'll play all the goals for you, and the Mish with a great call on the save at the end. So we'll get all at that all to you here, courtesy of Lightning Radio 102.5 The Bone. Yes, absolutely cool stuff. And we've got also James Petralka from Fox Sports is going to join us. We'll talk about Wild Card Weekend. He's had a lot of these games that his crew has done this week. We have covered all these teams, so we'll get some insight from him. And away we go. Oh, and we're also going to get into this Jaden Rashada story that is going on at the University of Florida. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but the details and facts were slim, and that's the problem. That is the problem now with NIL, and we've seen this coming for quite some time. We've been talking about it for a long, long time. That as we go further down this NIL road and transfer portal and everything, it is not the wild, wild west. It's much worse than that. It's a complete anarchy in college football right now. And there's shadowy figures that are agents and consortiums and different NIL collectives that are all doing, certain things, and our contracts being signed, our contracts being honored. It's crazy. It's absolutely bizarre and nuts. And this is exactly what the administrators and the athletic directors and the commissioners get for being so greedy over all these years that they would not make basic changes for the players. So the legislatures had to get involved. And this is what happens when you get government involved. When you start putting laws out there and trying to regulate an industry, which you have no idea what you're doing. But I still put it on these longtime administrators that continue to get all this money coming in from television revenue and refuse to give any of it to the players in any meaningful way, which has led to all of this. So, and don't fool yourself. That's the problem. And now that the genie's out of the bottle, they've got to find some way to rein it back in. And I'm all for players making money. I'm all for that. But there's got to be some controls on the situation. Even the NFL has controls. We have free agency periods. We have salary caps. We have collectively bargained salary situations that govern all of this. And I've said this for a long, long time. Eventually, you're going to have to move college football to a pro model, and the same for college basketball. Forward-thinking people have been talking about this for a decade, and nothing has been done. And it needs to be done. Bold action needs to be taken. And, in a nutshell, and we've had, guests on this program over the years that have hashed all of this out, and this is basically what needs to happen. The football programs and the basketball programs need to be taken out of the university situation, okay, and just basically set up as booster entities, separate businesses that feed revenue to the schools. It sounds radical, but isn't this a little bit more radical, what we're going through right now? And what's happening with Jaden is going to happen with all the top recruits as we go down the line. It's complete freaking chaos, and it's going to ruin the game of college football. So somebody with some nads has got to get everybody together into a room, the major players, and figure this crap out, because otherwise it's going to be complete chaos in this sport, and we don't need it. We don't need it. So we'll get into that a little bit later on, a little bit more of the details of what's going on with him. And it happens to be, at the University of Florida that this is happening. And as a Seminole, as you all know, when it comes to matters like this, I'm extremely objective about what's going on. I'm not picking on the University of Florida. It really has little to do with the University of Florida. It's more the situation. I'm not condemning them in any way, shape, or form. It just happens to be they are in the middle of this because they've got the top quarterback. And this is what's going to be going on forever. And today is the last day for drop ad at the University of Florida. So they've got to get something done to find out if he is going to enroll. So we'll see how this goes. And just pay attention to this particular situation, because this is the test case for what's coming down the pike in college football. All right, so that's the show. We're going to get to all that stuff today. Let's jump right in with the Buccaneers and Cowboys. And, the more and more I look at this game, my heart so wants to look at all the intangibles and say the Bucs should win this game, or could win this game. I think I say should win this game. But when you look at the numbers, when you look at the raw numbers, this is a Cowboys team that's scoring 32 points a game. It's a Bucs team that struggles to score 17, 18 points a game. And that's against even bad teams. You look at the Carolina game, more than anything, that was still a lot of frustrating offense, but 3 big plays, picking on some backup corners and some poor coaching decisions, leaving Mike Evans with no safety over the top. And if you go back and look at those throws, they were spot on. Well, 2 of them were. One, if there was a deep safety, could have easily been intercepted as well. But I mean, you can't base an offense off that. You certainly can't base handicapping a playoff football game off of that. The truth of the matter is, this has been a dreadful Tampa Bay offense for the entire season, and there's no getting away from that. So if you're looking at just the numbers and being as objective as you can be, this is a much better Dallas defense, although they've not played up to maybe what they've been in this main part of the season. But if you look at the totality of the season, you look at Dak Prescott, and everybody's bitching and moaning about his interceptions, the 9 interceptions. 4 of those were not even close to his fault. 4 of them were just, bouncing off guys' chests. They're just, receivers making bad decisions, handing the ball to the defense, basically. So Dak really hasn't thrown many more than anybody else, and just they've been some bad situations. And he's thrown to a couple bad picks. Who hasn't thrown bad picks this year? It's part of football, right? Brady's throwing. So if you're hanging your hat on Dak sucks, you're wrong. He doesn't suck. He's good. And the Cowboys will likely put up 24 to 35 points in this game. So you got to ask yourself, are the Bucs capable of scoring 25 or 30 to 30 points on a good Dallas defense? Even though they're missing some secondary pieces, they still got plenty of guys up front. And what is Tom Brady's Achilles heel? Pressure. Any team that pressures Tom Brady and the Buccaneers usually has a pretty good chance of beating them, right? Look at what San Francisco did. It was never a contest. Never a contest. And if I look at any team that the Bucs have played in the second half of the season that I think Dallas is closest to, I would say, probably San Francisco. As big as they are on both sides of the line, talking about Dallas, and as physical as they are, that's, San Francisco is better. Don't get me wrong. So you ask yourself, and that wasn't even a contest. So just be objective, Buck fans. I mean, I'm sorry. Okay, let's make the case for the Bucs. Okay, Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't lose to Dallas and doesn't lose in the playoffs. Those are all different situations. You can go through all of them. And some of those games have been close, and Brady has been absolutely brilliant at the end of those games against the Cowboys, time and time again, going down the field and beating. But he does that to everybody. But can you really hang your hat on that in a 60-minute game here? The Cowboys will be able to run the football. I don't think there's any question about that. If there's some way the Bucs can stop that, okay, great. But we haven't seen that consistently against good running teams. Now, when Akeem Hicks and Vita Vea have been healthy, and Vea was limited in practice, right? Vita Vea, limited in practice. So we don't know if he's full go, but he played last week. He should be okay. So you hope that the Bucs can stop the run. Now, their secondary, as the Bucs secondary, has been good against average quarterbacks and average teams. This is not an average offense. It's the best in the league at scoring. So please tell me, besides the fact that Dallas chokes in the playoffs, which we know, but that's not an objective metric. Dak has been terrible lately. Maybe not so true. So, and again, both teams are 0-0. Anything can happen. But I really struggle to find a way that the Bucs win this game. Will they sustain drives and score in the red zone? The Dallas Cowboys have the best red zone defense in football. And the Bucs are one of the worst red zone teams. So how does that match up? Not well. And you can tell, well, we beat them 19-3 in the beginning of the season. Does this Bucs team look anything like the team that played that day that ran for 152 yards? No, because teams have figured out what they did in game one, made adjustments, and the Bucs never did. Thus, the putrid offensive performance. I hate to be a downer here, but I'm trying to keep it real. I hate to be a downer, but this is a team that's third in sacks. They get after the quarterback. Micah Parsons has been, not great lately, but he knows he's got to be great now on this stage. So I hope I'm wrong. I pray to God that I'm wrong. I want this to turn out wonderfully for Bucs and the Bucs fans, but I don't see it happening. And I'm going to. I got to pick the Cowboys. 27-17.
Went early there with the prediction, huh?
Yeah,
27-17.
27-17.
I mean, you said a lot there. And listen, I mean, I've been saying it all week. I'm probably going off of emotion here and fandom and trying to root for this team and see them, will them kind of through. And I keep saying it, that somehow, some way, Tom Brady's going to will this team through.
Well, we've seen that happen quite a few times.
We've seen that happen a few times. I'm not going to be the guy that says no to him because I think there are better teams in this conference that I would – like if the Bucs were playing San Francisco, I'm picking San Francisco. If they were playing Philadelphia, I'd pick Philadelphia. But because this team – and I know every team's different in a sense, but it just seems like there's a common thread with every Dallas team of what they become in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a common thread. Dak Prescott, I'm a Dak Prescott believer, even though he has a lot of critics, which mostly is because he plays for the Cowboys, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But he's got one playoff win. And Jerry Jones can try to diffuse any situation he wants this week by saying Mike McCarthy's not playing for his job or coaching for his job and all that. I don't buy it. Mike McCarthy is 100% coaching for his job.
I don't understand why this guy's like such a bad coach. He's won, 23 regular season games in 2 years?
I think it has more to do with Jerry Jones wanting to go get that big fish, and his name is Sean Payton. And as every single coach or every single team with an opening is trying to interview him, I think Sean Payton's probably knowing that, hey, if I just hold on a little bit longer, maybe this team bows out, I'll be in the running. So I think that's on Jerry Jones' mind still. I'm not saying he's rooting for the Cowboys to lose necessarily. I'm just saying that I think Mike McCarthy is fighting for his job.
Why do I think Sean Payton's already got a deal in place somewhere? Why do I think
of which opening?
I don't know.
None of these openings are great.
I don't know, but I think that there's, whatever job he wants, he can have. Let's just be honest with that.
Oh, of course.
If he wanted the Bucs job, he'd have it.
Yeah.
Okay. If he wanted the Cowboys job, would Jerry Jones be stupid enough? Would his ego be so big that he wouldn't hire the best coach on the market, who I believe lives in Dallas?
Yeah.
Would not hire the best coach on the market if he could?
Yeah.
Even though everybody says, he wants to be the star and Sean Payton would be the star. I think he's old enough now to know that his window is closing to see his Cowboys win another Super Bowl. And I think he would allay his ego there. So I think for whatever reason, I'm sure Sean Payton thinks he can fix Russell Wilson, and I'm sure he wants to, make the rounds and probably look at everything. But I just have a sneaky feeling that he already has a deal somewhere.
Well, maybe. But my point there is that I think the pressure, if you're kind of Trey, who's the pressure on more in this game? I think it's on the Cowboys.
Oh, no question.
I think 100% it's on the Cowboys.
Question.
They have so much more to lose here than the Bucs do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, I look at also going from like an X's and O's standpoint, not too deep in X and O's, but look at the DNA of the offense, right? We know what Dak's going to give you. We know Pollard, who has kind of been, kind of banged up more. They've been using Zeke a lot more, who's looked a lot fresher here back in the back half of the season.
Right.
So obviously we know we're going to get a split there, but look at this. Look at the pass catching weapons. This is where I think the Bucs might have an advantage. CeeDee Lamb, and I had the numbers here, over 1,300 yards receiving. Outstanding number one wide receiver.
Yep.
Do you want to hear the next highest receiver on this team?
Mm-hmm.
Noah Brown.
But the great Noah
555 yards.
Yeah.
And then it goes to Gallup with 424. And then after that, nothing.
Yeah.
Virtually not. T.Y. Hilton's there now. So I guess you have to guard against him, but obviously he's made a couple
plays. Made a couple plays.
My point there is, though, in Carlton Davis, when he goes up against number one receivers, generally he wins those matchups. Go back to the one against Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
He had Jamar Chase for majority of that game.
Yeah.
And I think Jamar Chase is a better receiver than CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, yes. No question.
So my point there, and Sean Murphy-Bunting, who we talked to Scott Reynolds, is probably playing the best of any secondary member in the Bucs right now.
Mm-hmm.
As hard as that may be to believe, he is.
So you think this Bucs defense can get the job done?
I think they can. I think if you can take CeeDee Lamb out of this game and lock him up, and Carlton did it in week 1 as well, I think they can control it.
Well, we saw the Commodes do it last week.
Yes.
And I just mentioned that so I can say Commodes. But they did it. They did it well. But I just got the feeling watching that game with Dallas. It was like they were just, they had half a foot in the water. And they were like,
I don't put much stock into that game.
No.
I'm just saying I think the Bucs defense, and it's more so than just what I just said, they're starting to get the takeaways. Some of the things, like other teams are starting to have self-inflicted errors now, all of a sudden against the Bucs defense. They're starting to capitalize on those. The Bucs, without Shaq Barrett and for all the faults that we've tried to say about the pass rush, they finished in like the top 7 in sacks this year. The Bucs can get to the quarterback when they want to. You're going to have Akeem Hicks and Vita Vea. We mentioned the stat that they're 6-1 this season when those two play and they stop the run. Devin White's been playing a lot better lately. We already know what Levante's going to give you. Anthony Nelson's been playing really good. I think the Bucs defense is coming into this game playing a lot better than the Cowboys defense is coming into this game. Go look at Dallas in the second half of the season. They've been in a lot of shootouts where their offense has had to bail them out. But this is a team that gave up 26 to Sam Howell. They gave up 23 to Davis Mills. They gave up 34 to Gardner Minshew.
I hate to tell you, though, all those quarterbacks and offenses you're mentioning have been better than Tom Brady and the Bucs this year.
I know.
As much as we want to trash them, they're better than the Bucs. So we would say, these Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew scored more points on average than the Bucs did.
Oh, I know.
So it's.
I'm just putting it out there for reference. That I just don't think the Cowboys defense is coming into this game firing and all. This is not the top 5 whatever unit they're ranked right now, really coming into the playoffs, because they have not been that for some time.
Yeah, because they've had some injuries in the secondary, and that and this is where coaching really matters. This is where coaching really matters in the playoffs. And I think we saw it last year in the Rams game, how Sean McVay just completely outcoached Todd Bowles in terms of what the Rams are doing on offense, and we still have no answer for Cooper Kupp whatsoever. And so I just feel like the coaching matchup is going to be lost here. Certainly, Dan Quinn is going to outcoach Byron Leftwich. That's a given. That's an absolute given, 100%. So if you think that somehow Byron Leftwich is going to figure out to get those favorable matchups that they need to get opposite Trayvon Diggs and Mike Evans, who will probably be hooked up. So to get those matchups that we want to get with Chris Godwin, that we want to get, does he use Devin Tompkins against some of these slower backup corners? That would be nice to see. I think that would be a nice wrinkle. Does Scotty Miller get more involved in this game? To me, this is a Godwin game. This is a Godwin game, and Godwin has to, he has to break out for one of those, those short passes that he takes 30, 40, 50, 60 yards, because I'm telling you, the Bucs in the red zone in this game are going to be, I got no hope for that whatsoever. They're going to score. They better score from long distance, because once they get down in the red zone, Dallas is too good and the Bucs are too bad. Their schemes in the red zone are awful. I don't want to be negative, but look at the numbers, look at the tape, look at what you see on a totality of these two teams. But look, you got a chance. You got, if the Bucs can force some turnovers, catch the interceptions that Dak's going to throw them, and that's a big deal. Catch the damn ball, then they can win the game. I'm not saying they can't win, but I think if they play this game 10 times, I think the Dallas Cowboys win 7.
I don't know. I know it was a long time ago, but I saw the Bucs beat this team. I saw the Bucs beat this team last year. I know those games. I know
back in 2020 feels like.
I know it's a long time ago, but I'm just saying. I think for the points I laid out there, I think that's what gives the Bucs a good shot in this one.
Okay.
And when you get to the playoffs, to me, it's such a crapshoot when you get in. It's really a crapshoot. And I know I've been saying all week that I don't think Dallas is nearly as bad as they showed against Washington, but I still don't think it's ideal to come rolling in like that.
No.
I know the Bucs didn't exactly light the world on fire against Atlanta, but they played 3/4 of that game with backups. Yeah, didn't really matter.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Now we're going to get to some of the other facts of the case here. Ryan Jensen, Ryan Jensen. Will we find out today? Because I think they'll probably have to activate him today if he's going to play or be in some reserve role. I would, with where the Bucs are right now with their injuries on offense, I would definitely activate Ryan Griffin because, in case Hainsey goes down, he's your best option. Leverett's hurt, right? Leverett's on the
You mean Ryan Jensen?
Ryan Jensen. What did I say?
Made me laugh. Ryan Griffin.
What is it, Ryan Jensen. They've got injuries. Obviously, Josh Wells is out now. And I would love Ryan Jensen coming in as that third tight end, that extra blocker that the Bucs love to do in the run game. Can you imagine him like coming off the edge and smoking people? And plus, if Hainsey gets hurt, you're going to have a backup there. So I would anticipate seeing Ryan Jensen activated today or tomorrow. It might be tomorrow since we're backed up a day. So we shall see because practice will start about 11:30. Brady talks today. But let's listen to Todd Bowles yesterday. He was asked about Ryan Jensen, and whether he will be available this week. And obviously he's been out there practicing. You know the story, the knee injury, second day of camp, didn't have surgery, swelling for 8 years. You know the whole deal.
Swelling for we've been swelling for 8 years, and we've made it to.
We got to wait till the swelling goes down.
We finally made it to this moment where the swelling has gone down.
Thank God.
Actually, do we even know that the swelling's gone down?
We really don't.
We never got confirmation.
The swelling may have come back, actually. It may have come back.
It probably came back since he's been out there.
Yeah, I would think, yeah.
But anyway,
we have to go through another round of swelling. It could take another 6 months. Who knows?
Anyway, here's Todd from yesterday.
All right. Most of the early questions are
new.
Like some encouraging news with all the guys you were able to have out there. Vita Vea, how much was he able to do today?
Vita Vea?
Oh, he came out and did some stuff. He's coming along. We'll progress it during the week.
I think he's going to play.
Do you envision Ryan Jensen put on the active roster by Monday's game?
We'll see how he is at the end of the week. He's coming along. He's practicing hard, so we'll see where he is. He's got some tests to pass.
How much was Robert Hainsey able to do today?
He was limited.
Coach, what's the one thing that you struggled at this year?
Stop. So what does that all tell you? You know what? To your point, the Bucs need a little magic here. They need a little magic, right? They need a little pick me up, little something different. Football is a very clinical game. I get it's a very physical game, but it's also an emotional game. And certain guys lift all boats, right? Tom Brady is the guy that lifts everybody. And I think Ryan Jensen is one of those guys too.
Absolutely.
I think Big Red, his presence, his charisma, his positivity, his attitude on the field, it just kind of goes with this narrative that, hey, we're getting healthy. We got our Pro Bowl center back. Now, Brady's trusting the protection. This is going to look a lot like it did in 2021.
And
okay.
All right. Let me paint a scenario for you.
Okay.
Super hypothetical scenario. It never happened, but it just popped in my head.
Sure.
Okay. Let's just say that the Bucs, that Ryan Jensen ends up, they think they're going to play him, right? Let's say they end up, they're going to play him. Now, I know teams have to report that obviously ahead of time, correct?
Right.
And so the other team knows, and usually the media gets a hold of it. They put it out there. Let's just say the Bucs just didn't say, or they didn't put it out there into the public knowledge so that fans know. Let's put it that way. And let's just say the media all just held off so we could have my moment here.
Right.
And we're introducing the starters, the offensive starters, and Tom Brady comes out last, right? Like he always does. But everybody just forgets that we forgot one person.
Yeah.
And Ryan Jensen walks out of that tunnel.
Runs out of the tunnel.
With the flag. Can you imagine? Imagine the crowd for that moment and talk about getting going there and getting everybody going.
Even the 40% that are going to be Cowboy fans will be cheering that.
Literally. I mean, can we do that, please? Can everybody, if he actually indeed is going to suit up to play, can we all just keep it a secret until then?
What does it feel like a Braveheart moment? The big Irish, big red beard, coming.
I'm big into those moments.
Mel Gibson running down the slope. Here we go. That would be great. It would be great, but they have to activate him. And
I know. Regardless,
but we still would, even if they activate him, we don't know what his role is going to be.
We don't know what his role is going to be. But.
So, we'll see. But it's all part of it, and it's great intrigue, and it's fantastic that the Bucs are in this game. In the grand scheme of things, is Ryan Jensen the linchpin to this game? No, he's not. It's more about, Brady being Brady, trusting his protection, which he's done better the last few games. There's no question about that. He's done it better, but he's going to take some hits in this game like he did in game one.
Yeah. And to me, honestly, not to have that take, it's all on Tom Brady. No, it really is. It's on him in the passing offense because I keep seeing a lot of people saying that to win in the playoffs, you got to run the ball, you got to do this and that.
No.
It's 2023.
Yeah.
This is not 1978. You have got to pass the ball efficiently.
Yeah.
You have got to do it. You've got to push the ball down the field. So that's where I say a lot of it is on Tom. I'm not trying to put pressure on him. I mean, he already has enough pressure to deal with. We get that. But it's really on the passing offense. It's on Tom Brady. It's on Byron Leftwich. It's on the receiving core.
Yep.
We can't have any fumbles,
no drops,
stupid mistakes,
no drops,
which really haven't been much of an issue lately, to be fair.
No. But like I said yesterday, these 50-50 balls, which they're always going to be 5 to 7 of them every game, right? And when you're throwing the ball 45 times, it's about Brady being on target. Right? It's about the receivers running good routes, catching the football, not fumbling it.
Yeah.
It's about the receivers breaking tackles and getting yak because there's going to be a lot of short passes. So much of it is on these receivers and on Brady though they have to go make plays. And defensively, they have to make plays. They have to catch the ball when Dak throws it to them. They have to be they can't have coverage bust like we've seen this year. We can't. The Bucs cannot make mistakes and stupid penalties and have touchdown. Can you imagine a touchdown being called back in this game?
It's not the time for that.
I mean,
it's not time.
You're going to be lucky to score 2 touchdowns if you have one called back. I mean, my God,
can't have any Donnie Smith holding.
Oh
specialties.
No, we cannot have that.
We can't do it.
No. So, and that's going against a lot of what the Bucs have done all year. So that's the formula. All right, we'll take a quick break. I'm going to get to your comments, too. You guys are in the comment section on YouTube and on Facebook, on WATP Facebook page. You can always watch us there. We got a lot more people participating, so we're going to get to you guys. But up next, we're going to talk with Brian Bradley of the Tampa Bay Lightning, our first All-Star. Watched the game with him last night. It was a fun one. We'll break it all down for you next. Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan. He loves his Gators. In fact, he sponsors our Gator Report every Thursday at 11 o'clock with Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. But he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES lawgroup.com and tell him JP sent you. Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott
qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Hey, folks, it's still engagement season, and where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source? The Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country, a literal jewelry supercenter with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. You don't have to wait to spend any extra time waiting for them to bring something in. They have everything right there in-house, so why go anywhere else? And you can get up to 15% off this January if you buy something with the birthstone, which is garnet. Garnet and gold, Florida State, get something for your favorite Seminole. And let's not forget the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Very affordable, real gold and diamond jewelry, always stylish and unique. Emily has created this fashion-forward gold, diamond, and gemstone jewelry line ideal for everyday wear. Each piece is designed to enhance your look by featuring eye-catching, modern, geometrical shapes. Really unique stuff. Got to check it out. And, of course, Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors here in the local community. So let's keep it local. And you can get 0% financing for up to 5 years. Get a big ring for a little price. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo will join us again on Mondays now, going over injuries and other health news and company that helps people navigate the health insurance marketplace. 1 out of 3 people in Florida are uncovered because they think they can't afford it. It's not true, folks. I made the call a couple years ago, and it's been a godsend. Blue Cross Blue Shield, whatever program you want, plan that you want, you can get it. They have a lot of different things you can choose, but mainly find out what your subsidy is going to be. 888-325-0605, 888-325-0605. And they will help you through it. They're highly trained, and they'll just ask you a few questions about your income and your family situation. And you'll find out within 20 minutes what your subsidy is. And even if you have an employer paid plan, you might be able to get it cheaper. So why not make the call? It's a free call. 888-325-0605. Take you about 20 minutes to find out, and literally could save you hundreds or thousands of dollars over the year and get you really good health coverage, which obviously could save your life. So it's important. If you're not covered, make the call. It's very, very easy to do it, and they'll take care of it for you. 888-325-0605. As we await, we'll get Brian Bradley on here in a little bit. This game last night had a little bit of everything, from the drama at the end to the Lightning getting another incredible performance for Nikita Kucherov with a goal and an assist, and not any silly turnovers last night. That was even better. Point had a couple of assists last night. Killorn was fantastic last night. Really great, had a goal and an assist. So yeah, it was a fun game to watch last night. It was a great energy in the building. The place was packed last night. Late arriving crowd as usual, but it was packed at the end. And when Stammer got $4.99 on the power play, everybody was just eyes on Steven Stamkos to see when he went over the boards again in the third period. And it was interesting because it took about 3 or 4 minutes, because you could tell Cooper was basically saying, let's get this going, and don't worry about 500. We got Brian on the line. Brian, you there?
Yeah, JP, I lost you there.
Yeah, our fault. We had a little technical difficulty there, my friend. Kind of like the Bolts at the end of the third period there last night. That was quite an atmosphere last night. It was the joint was jumping, and then when the Lightning go up 5-2 on Stammer's .499 on a power play, you're like, oh. And I think there was probably 12 minutes left, and we're all thinking 500, and then the bottom fell out because that's what all the Lightning players were thinking, right? Trying to get him 500 and forgot about defending.
Yeah, you know what? I agree, JP. You know what? You know what? Everybody wanted to have it happen last night. I mean, he scored with about 14 and a half minutes to go in the third period. So there's lots of time. And you know what? The game was 5-2 at that point. And you know what? I was saying to myself, too, I'm not kidding you. The game is 5-2. We got 14 minutes to go. If they can maybe score one more goal to make it 5-3, then they can pull the goalie and Stammer can get an empty net. So I think everybody was saying the same thing. But, we did it, but it didn't work out. And we took a penalty, and, then Quentin Hughes scored and Peterson scored. And, man, they almost tied it up. Vazzy made a great save. And,
oh, my God.
I heard your comment. Yeah, just an incredible save with 8 seconds left. The puck's in the neutral zone, and they come down, and actually Vazzy makes a world-class save. Not many goalies can make, and we end up winning the game 5-4. But, I think Coach Cooper, like I said, I listened to your comment. I mean, you know what? Yeah, I think guys are so wanting to get the 500 goal. I think once he gets a 500 goal, he's just gonna score 15 goals in the next 8 or 9 games. But I think it's just going to take all the pressure off everybody that they're not trying to just set him up to do that. But, I mean, he had some chances last night. I mean, he scored a rocket shot on the power play from Braden Point. But, Kucherov had a goal and assist, and same old guys are doing stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think it's on everybody's mind, this 500 goal. And I think once it goes away and he gets it, I think it's going to be great for the team.
Yeah, because everybody knew that Stammer's family was there. The whole family was there, and everybody was looking forward to this great celebration. Obviously, the Bolts had some stuff planned. Lightning Vision had stuff planned, and it's just kind of out there, and it's on everybody's mind. But it's, and Cooper's got to be like, okay, that's great and everything, and he's obviously sensitive to it. But you also got to go out there and win the game, and that's got to be very disappointing for him because this has been the thing that he's been preaching, right? You got to lock it down. When you got 5, that's enough. Lock it down. And Vancouver, for all their their missteps, they can score. They can score the puck, right? And this Quinn Hughes kid, that shot, he's a good player, good young player.
Oh yeah.
Peterson's bomb from the point, and then they get a 2-on-0. How do you give up a 2-on-0 in that situation with the 2-3 seconds left in the game?
And especially when the puck was in the neutral zone, everybody should have been back. I mean, they should have one guy forcing in the neutral zone and, 4 guys back. For them to get a 2-on-0 and almost a 3-on-1 from the hash marks down was like, what?
Yeah.
What are we doing? So, I mean, Vazzy made a great save. It was just, we played a lot better on Tuesday night against Columbus. I mean, we played okay. The first period, we were not good at all in the first period. I thought we had a really weak first period. Yeah. I mean, we got outshot 15-11, and Vancouver played really well in the first period, and they controlled the game. If you ask me, Connor Garland, the game kind of changed around to me when Corey Perry scored that tip-in goal, from Sergachev. I mean, Vancouver was in total control of the game. I thought they were dominating, and we didn't have our legs going. Everybody looked kind of like they were sleeping and just weren't into the game. And then we scored the goal, and Korn had a big goal, and we got right back in the game. JT Miller, next Lightning player, had a great deke on Vasilevsky. Wow, that was a good move.
Yeah, that was a sweet move. And you mentioned Killorn. He had that first goal, which I kind of call a turnaround thumper. He just back to the goal, and then he swings around, does the 360, and just wicked wrister to the top shelf. That was and then at the end of the game, he fights through 2 Canucks to get to the puck, and then sweet backhand dish right to Hagel in front, and he buries it. That was a beautiful. I thought Killorn played great last night.
Yeah, no, he did. And one of those things like Korn, like I said, he's a veteran guy, knows what he's doing. I mean, it was a great shot. I mean, that's one of those shots where, you get the puck and you have to do that turn spin around move. Yeah. The goalie's really not set for it because he doesn't know if you're going to shoot it one way or curl and drag it in. So it's a really hard to defend. A lot of guys do that move. and they execute it well. And the goalies you see a lot of goalies, all goalies have problems with that shot. And you know what? It was a great play by Korn to shoot the puck. That gave us the 2-1 lead. And then, the Korn pass to Brendan Hagel. That was a great pass, and Brendan Hagel with a rip shot too.
Yes.
So that was a big goal. I mean, that put the game we're up 4-2 at that point. Kucherov scored before that, from Stamkos and point, but in control of the game. And Stamkos scores from point. Kucherov to go up 5-2. I mean, we're cruising in the third period with 14 minutes to go up 5-2, and then, I mean, we almost lost the game. They should have tied the game up. Let's be honest with you. I mean, Vazzy made one hell of a save, and you know what? That's just a sloppy. What did we won 9 games in a row at home? But that was not it was a win. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was sloppy. Yeah, it was sloppy.
I think the other good thing is the Lightning have had issues with the second period, and last night, I guess because their first period was so bad, and I think Vancouver outshot them 7-0 to start the game. But they came back in the second period and got those 3 goals. So that had been a bit of a bugaboo, and it just I think what this team needs is a steady diet of good teams to play and really, really hone their game. And they're going to get that on this 5-game road trip. St. Louis has been struggling a little bit. They start with them. Then they go to Seattle on Monday. It's an afternoon game, 4:00 our time for the Bucs game, which is awesome. Seattle just won their 7th in a row last night at Boston last night. Shut out Boston 3-0.
Yeah, I know.
So we got to go to Seattle.
Yeah.
And then we end up with Calgary, and who's in the middle there? Vancouver again, and then Edmonton. So this is going to be a 5-game road trip, Brad's, where we're 9-9 on the road. So I'd like to see them come out with 5-6 points in this road trip, and I think Cooper will be happy with that. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree, JP. I mean, it's a long swing out west and stuff like that. And you know what? It starts off in St. Louis, and just letting you know, St. Louis lost last night to Calgary 4-1. So, it's tough to win. You're going into a building tomorrow where St. Louis lost 4-1 at home, so they're going to be pissed off. And then, you know what? Seattle won in Boston. They've been playing well. What have they won, 7 or 9 games in a row? I mean, just playing terrific hockey, Seattle Krakens, and that's an afternoon matinee on Martin Luther King. So that'll be a great game on Monday, and then the Bucs, play that night in the playoff game, and then they go back to Vancouver. It's not easy. Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton. Those teams are all fighting for their lives right now. Right. They're all on the bubble. Calgary, Edmonton's in, but only by a point or two, and Calgary's trying to get in, and Vancouver's a couple games back. So there's not going to be an easy game on this road trip. It's all going to be. There's no easy games, but especially when teams lose and stuff like that. So I think at the end of the day, if we did 4-1 on this trip, it would be amazing. Right. 3-2 would be acceptable. Anything less than 3-2, it's not Lightning hockey, in my opinion. You got to be better on the road, and our road record hasn't been good this year.
All right, it's time to make a move on the road. No question about it, my friend. All right, Brad, it's always good to chat with you, my friend. Have a great weekend. You got big plans for the weekend? Going to play a little golf today?
No, just maybe today or tomorrow. The weather's supposed to get cold, but you know what? If it's not going to be good for golf, it's good for, NFL football. Can't wait to watch it.
What do you think about the Bucs Cowboys Monday night? Who you got?
You know what? I got to go with Tom Brady. You know what? I'm not a Cowboys fan at all. You know what? I think they're going to be the Bucs are. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think the Bucs are going to end up winning that one. It should be a good game, but I'm going with Tom Brady for one more game. But then after that, I'm not sure.
You're toast. Okay. All right, partner. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the golf.
You betcha. TJP. Bye, buddy. Have a good day. TJP.
There was a little weather came through last night, but should be beautiful weekend for golf, for pickleball,
I'm looking forward to Sunday morning hockey right here. 35 degrees on Sunday in the morning, it said.
Oh,
that's hockey weather. I might have to put on I'm gonna put the old school beanie on with the little ball at the top.
Yeah.
I got a Lightning one that I don't get to wear often at all.
Yeah, of course.
I got a Hedman sweater. If I have confidence putting it out there, maybe, who knows?
Yeah. That.
I'm excited.
35 degrees Sunday morning.
35 degrees Sunday morning.
Ooh, it's going to be frost on the cars and everything, and on the.
It's going to be beautiful. Oh, it's going to be. I'm going to savor these last few really cold fronts that we get here. For the year.
Oh, we got a few more. Come on,
we've had a lot more than usually.
Yeah, this is the next 3 months are just the best part of the weather, so we're loving it.
Hey, speaking of that game though, because I wanted to play this. I know we wanted to play this fast left. I finally got it popped up here because this call is just absolutely tremendous from Dave Michigan and Phil Esposito.
Love these guys.
Here, left wing to Hughes. Hughes feeds it across the blue line. Here's Horvath, right circle, put it in front. Besser, a pass.
What a save!
On the horn!
What?
That would have counted.
What a stinking save. That was one of the greatest saves I've ever seen.
How about that?
Curtis Lazar was open in front on a tic-tac-toe pass from Besser, and Vasilevsky stopped him with the left pad, and the Lightning win at 5-4. I'd like to see a clock to see how much time was left on that.
It would have counted.
Basically turned into a 2-on-0. Do you believe
I
that?
think it was about 2 seconds ago, David, when that happened. I mean, 2-on-0, 2 on Vasi. Vasi stretches out with that left pad and glove right above it. That was
He comes to his left, to the right, and then back to the left to get that with the pad and his glove. Because actually Lazar did get it up over his pad, and he got his glove out there as well. My God.
It was as big cat of a big cat save as you'll ever see.
Holy heck. That was incredible. Yeah, that is something. And look, and Vasi was pissed last night too after the game. He was pissed. He was pissed because how do you give up a 2-on-0 like that? In that situation, he was pissed that he gave up the 2 goals in the third period, which I don't put either one of them on him.
Yeah.
One was a rocket from the point.
Yeah,
never saw.
Yeah, to me, it's so hard during the regular season. It's so hard to evaluate this team because we're so spoiled with the postseason success, and we know that this team is so different when they get there.
Yeah.
So, because last year, we were at least I was a little concerned about how they were playing last year, if you recall. They were not finishing games. The defense was pretty shoddy, right? And they didn't have Kucherov for a stretch of the season. And then we get to the playoffs, and everything just completely changed, right? Yeah. It's like the same thing this year. We're seeing so many of these examples where they're struggling. 5's enough.
Yeah.
5 is enough. Plenty enough. Yeah. And they've had these moments that have kind of crept up back again this year.
That was such a unique experience and situation with Stammer. You just could feel it in the building. Every time he came back on the ice, everybody was like, and the players know it too.
Oh yeah.
The players know it, and they want to feed him, and they get distracted into what they should be doing. So I'll give him a little bit of a pass on that last night. I think Cooper did too in the post game. I thought he was going to be really salty, but he was like, I get it. But now let's go. He's going to get it on this road trip. That's all there is to it. And we'll come back and we'll celebrate when he gets home. Simple as that. No big deal. Stamkos was asked last night, is your family going on the road with me? He's like, well, a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, not the easiest of ways to get on the road when
across Canada, I don't think so.
Yeah, or whatever. That's good. These kids are a little older than that, but we know they're on skates. Absolutely. All right, so we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with a little bit more Bucs sound for you. Tristan Wirfs talks yesterday. We're going to play that Rondé Barber stuff for you at 11:30 after we have James Petralka on, just because we had Rondé on in the beginning of the show. So those of you who can't listen until later, who may have missed it, we'll get that on 11:30. So more Bucs coverage, and we'll take a look at the other matchups in the NFL as well. We're brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center and the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com. If you have been injured in an accident or your car was totaled, you did not get the amount of money you think you should have gotten, you're probably right. Go to the JeevesLawGroup.com, make a free appointment, free consultation, find out if you have a case. Back in 3.
Was your car totaled in an accident? Did your insurance company use Kelley Blue Book or NADA to appraise the value of your car? Chances are they didn't, and you got shorted maybe thousands of dollars. Call the Jeeves Law Group for a free case evaluation because your insurance company may still owe you money. 727-894-2929. It's a free call, so why not find out if you have a case? Insurance companies have been running this scam for a while, and most folks don't know if they've been shorted. Trust me. Scott Jeeves is a different kind of attorney, the kind insurance companies hate to go up against. He could recover thousands of dollars, so why not call? 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JEEVES Lawgroup.com and tell them JP sent you. JP here for Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's premier investigation agency. Do you suspect your spouse is cheating or involved in a divorce, that your spouse is hiding money, an ex-employee or current employee with suspicious behavior? Is there a criminal matter you need help with? If you need information you can count on, using the professionals at Emerging Investigations is a slam dunk. Emerging Investigations is a licensed and insured private investigation agency, family-owned. Emerging is your ideal resource to secure evidence and validation, allowing you to make informed decisions in life's biggest matters. Led by industry executive Brian D'Antonio, Emerging possesses the experience and resources to get needed results. Emerging Investigations maintains an excellent reputation as a premier investigation agency. They are known for results. You're not just hiring a PI, but an organized, dedicated team using state-of-the-art technology. Their proven investigative methods produce crucial information used in criminal cases, insurance fraud, and personal injury claims. Many local attorneys, industry agencies, and your concerned neighbors all count on Emerging Investigations. Just go to their website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's 813-291-FACT-3228. Get results you can trust in life's biggest matters. Emerging Investigations.
Well, it's that time of year to renew or shop your health insurance provider, and you can get great health insurance for $20, $30, $50 a month. Just call 888-325-0605 to help navigate the health insurance marketplace. 1 out of 3 people in Florida are uncovered because they think they can't afford it. Not true. I made the call a couple of years ago, and they helped me get Blue Cross Blue Shield coverage, Florida Blue, for just $20 a month. Last year, it went up to $49. Oh, well. It all depends on your income and your family situation. It's a free call, 888-325-0605. They will ask for some income information. So if you have your tax returns available, that will be great, but you don't need it. They'll just answer some simple questions, and the highly trained reps will do the work for you to find out what your subsidy will be. 888-325-0605. And if you have a plan through your employer, you may be able to get it cheaper. It's a free call, so find out, folks. This has been a lifesaver for me and saved me thousands of dollars over the last few years, and you can choose your plan. It's a no-brainer. Find out. Make the free call. 888-325-0605. Get covered like me and thousands of others. 888-325-0605.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we get set for Wild Card weekend. And, of course, the Bucs will finish it off on a Monday night at Raymond James Stadium, the first ever, certainly the first Monday night primetime playoff game. I think it's only the 10th home playoff game in the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know there was a big crowd this morning because my friend Lou Maggio was on his way running errands, and he went by the stadium, and they're giving away, I think, flags or something today. So, that's exciting. And I did see the trailer. Did you see the trailer that Brady narrated for the playoffs that Bucs put out on social media? That's sweet.
I did not.
Oh my God. It's really good.
I'm glad you actually brought that up.
Really, really good.
I'm glad you just brought that up.
We could actually play that.
I missed that one. I saw this little thing they put about Todd Bowles. Did you see that one?
Which one?
This In the Current thing about Todd Bowles.
That is a great series, that In the Current thing that they're doing. Really good.
I'm glad you reminded me because I bookmarked it yesterday to play. It's like a minute and a half, and it's like a couple of the defensive players talking about Todd Bowles as a head coach. And it has clips of him throughout the games, and it kind of like we're guilty on this show and Bucs fans because we only see what we see, and it's this, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And this kind of takes you to what the cameras aren't showing you during the game, to how he really is reacting.
And if you don't think that's not intentional, it's intentional.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, the Bucs are very aware of what the public narrative is, and I think to some degree, I've never been a big believer in that since I watched how I've seen enough coaches in my day that have that sideline demeanor. I think where it becomes a problem with the Buccaneers, and we've said this, is where normally if you have a Tony Dungy, you got a Herm Edwards and a Mike Tomlin. And around Rod Marinelli, right? There's guys on the staff that are fiery and even players, Warren Sapp, John Lynch, Rondé Barber. I mean, that set the tone, right, from an emotional standpoint. And this is what this particular team, it's like you got Todd, but who's the emotional leader? The guy who shows the most emotion out there is a backup defensive tackle, Nacho, right? We don't see, there's not a lot of hype guys. And that's okay. But I think you got to have some. I think you got to have some, and either on the staff or as players. And it seems like this team doesn't play with a whole lot of emotion or fire for the most part. And when they get turnovers, I like them when the defense, they all go down to the, get on the boat, row the boat when they go down to the end zone, and that's great. And Devin White shows some emotion. I would like to see them play with a lot of emotion. Nick Leverett plays with emotion offensively. He's the one that gets out there and celebrates. I'd like to see these guys have a little bit more fun and play with emotion this week. But I think when you see a coach that way, and then you don't see players playing with emotion, and you see a team that's just been kind of devoid of fun and emotion this year, that's,
Yeah, I think it's how it comes off, but here,
but no, don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles he's got fire.
Yeah, and we can play this here real quick. Actually, it's just like a minute and a
Yeah,
half
let's
long.
do
it. And this starts here with, it's like Sean Murphy Bunting talking about him.
I have a question. How vulgar can this go?
We heard y'all been working extremely hard in the classroom and in athletics.
Damn it!
So me, my wife, and our foundation
Very,
board members got y'all
verbal.
a nice little Christmas present. So y'all go in here, look for y'all names on the balloons.
We got a double.
I have like multiple tabs open, and one of them started playing. My bad. Let me back it up here.
Yeah, those two things don't go together.
I was like, why is Mike Evans talking?
I have a question. How vulgar can this go?
You gotta be me. Damn it. Nick.
Hey. He's very verbal. He is very, if you don't do this, I'm gonna stick my foot down your mother throat. And he, for the most part, man, he's just, you don't want to piss him off. He's the guy that you don't want to piss off. You want to do things the right way.
You're kidding me. Where are you going? Go, Dean. Go, Dean. Oh, me.
You better not mess up, and then you just got to expect the sarcasm to come, but don't take it personal.
He turned his back on cover 3. They don't have any outs that he's gonna throw. It's gonna be an out and up every time. You have to stay on top of that guy when he's by himself. You have to. Come on.
The team has a consistent amount of plays that they're gonna run. Like, this is their bread and butter, the meat and potatoes, but they'll throw some asparagus in there. And the way he counters that asparagus sometimes to be able to give us that full course meal in the game plan. It's crazy to see because it's so quick.
2:32 to play. They've got all 3 timeouts.
This is against the Panthers.
Blitz coming. Picked up. And Darnold hit. Ball is loose. Who's going to get it? Bucs say they've got it. They do.
Sam Darnold just doesn't feel the pressure. Anthony Nelson attacks that throwing hand, and then it becomes a race for the ball. And
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It's about damn.
That's fun. That's fun. Yeah, that's definitely a side of Todd Bowles that you do not see.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely something that the Buccaneers wanted out there. And look, it's interesting because I heard Rick Stroud talking about this on his podcast about, he believes that Bowles is safe, that winning the division, even at 8-9, has secured his job. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. I mean, I'm on record as I just don't think Todd Bowles is a great head coach. I think he's a fantastic defensive coordinator. And again, being a head coach in this league, there's 10, 15 guys on this planet that are really good at it. So I just think that he's a great defensive coordinator. I just don't see him as a head coach because of the way he's mismanaged games, the way the staff has mismanaged the player personnel this year. Some of the things that they've said as a staff, and I don't want Brady to throw an interception. I mean, it just doesn't feel like he's going to be a great head coach. And I know there's a lot of things that have happened this year, a lot of turnover in personnel, and I hear all that. But you know what? Every team has turnover in personnel. It's for the coaching staff is supposed to, you don't have Gronk, go replace him, find a way. You don't have Ryan Jensen, go replace him, find a way. This is what coaching is all about: coaching up guys, coaching up backups. Injuries are part of the game. You don't have your staff. Okay, well, you got most of your defensive staff. Make it work. Make it work. That's what great coaches do. And I don't really think I've seen that.
I think he's got it, and I think the entire coaching staff and the players, they've all got a chance to change this narrative on Monday. Because
that's right.
In my opinion, and I don't know how you feel about this, it's been very disappointing this season, 8-9, but you got in the playoffs, whatever. If you win a playoff game,
Totally
if you win a
changes
playoff
it.
game
Yeah.
against a 12-win team,
Yeah.
and even if you bow out in the next round to whoever,
it means a lot.
If you win a playoff game, I will go as far to say it's a successful season.
Yeah, I will
given
too. I will too.
everything that has happened.
I would agree with that.
So they could write that narrative a little bit just with getting one victory in the playoffs.
That's how big this game is.
That's how big it is. for them.
Because you can make the case that Tom Brady has been, kind of playing this season like, okay, I'm going to make sure I don't get hurt. I'm going to get rid of the ball. But when we got to win games, we got to win games.
Yeah.
And they've won
and
every
I
game.
think he's going to stand in there this time.
I know he
because
is.
remember the Rams game last year?
He took a beating.
He took a beating.
Yeah, he took a beating.
But he played his ass off.
Yeah, he did in the second half. He took a beating. And I think he's going to take a beating this game. I do. This is a ferocious pass rush. They're going to get Dan Quinn's going to get after his ass. They've been keeping Micah Parsons kind of stagnant lately. I bet they move him around this game. They switch it up, and the Bucs better be ready for that. So I think absolutely.
Yeah.
This determines everything in the season because you can make the case that they did everything they had to do to get into the playoffs, and Brady stayed alive until he needed to stick in the pocket, and he won the Carolina game that they had to win, absolutely had to win. All right, so now if you go in and you beat a Cowboys team and you go out there and clinically take it to them, okay, that shows me that you've been building up to this point and you got your team ready to play in the playoffs. That's impressive.
And that's what I'm saying. I want to see it now because it feels like that's been not the narrative necessarily, but I've heard that I feel like a few more times from Brady. I've heard it from Leftwich about, we just got to get to the dance. Like that's something that Leftwich has said. If we just get in there, who knows what'll happen?
Right.
You'll see. Is kind of like the way I've been taking it. Well,
absolutely.
Here
so
we go.
We'll see.
So whatever Byron Leftwich has
Absolutely.
up his sleeve in this offense, I mean,
and by the way, I certainly can change my mind about Todd Bowles. Now, because people say, "Oh, you said he wasn't a head coach in there," but this story is not written on this season yet.
No,
this game is going to go a long way to determine what I think about Todd Bowles as a coach, what I think about Byron Leftwich, what I think about this whole organization as it sits right now. If they go out and they play a clean game and beat the Cowboys soundly, or even just win the game, that tells me, okay, you know what? They've been more building towards this than anything else, and this is all that really matters. Now, if they go out and it's a flop and it looks a lot like the regular season, then my feelings are going to be confirmed. But the more information you get, the more you should change your opinion. If you don't stick to your opinion just because you want to be right. There's more information comes in, your opinion should change, and this is going to be a huge data piece that you look at to say, should Bowles be back? Should the staff be back? Should some of these players be back? This game is going to go a lot towards that because everything is on the line. Everything you've done to this point goes into this.
Yeah.
And it's the ultimate test of what you've done. It's like, during the semester, fine. You've been coming along at a C minus, a C maybe. You get to the final exam and you kick ass on the final exam, that tells me you've mastered the class. Let's go.
I'm very well equipped in that exact scenario you just laid out right there.
Right. I mean, you cruise along, right? You do what you got to do, and then you say, well, if I get a 97 on the final, I'm good.
Always play the percentage.
And you always – and that's the week I'm going to buckle down, and I'm going to study, and I'm going to get a 97, and I'll go, okay, well played. How'd you finish? The book is not written. The book is far from written.
And we've mentioned that. Some of these teams that have gotten to the playoffs, 9-7 – or 7-9 or 7-8-1, they've been able to win at least a playoff game.
Right.
They've been able to get in there and kind of, wreak havoc a little bit. So why can't this team do it?
All right, let's get to some of the comments, shall we? Jeremy Lowe. Jeremy, did I see you at the game last night? What an experience at the Lightning last night, JP. Yeah, it was. I'm seeing Stammer get $4.99 and then a couple of great chances for $500 and then the Vassy save. Are you not entertained? My. I stayed after and Stamkos signed my jersey. Nice.
There you go.
Nice. That's a good night right there. That's a good night. Jordan Chameleon says all the National Hockey media fans on Reddit are absolutely trashing the surge punch on Garland last night at the end, but not discussing the hacking and slash of Vassy that led to it. It was deserved. And sir, listen, that was a shot. That was a good right cross. But yeah, looking, play stupid games, get stupid prizes. You want to slash at Vassy, you want to go after the big cat, you're going to get it. And so that's what
somebody in that decor's got to do it.
That's right.
Hedman's not going to be throwing any punches. So
good on you, sir. Did what he needed to do and the officials saw it too. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you can it seems like the national media always wants to rip the Tampa
I don't
Bay
listen.
Lightning,
I don't
you know?
listen to national media about the Lightning.
No.
I don't do it.
They're so jealous. Yeah, Garland will think twice about ever doing that again. Sure, maybe should have taken his glove off first, but I don't think a fine is warranted. I think he'll probably get fined.
Probably something.
Whatever. It's sticking up for your goalie. I have no problem. McCutcheon back to the Pirates, says Lonnie Wilkins on a 1-year deal. Meanwhile, we couldn't get Longoria. What did Longoria sign for? Like $4 million?
Like $4 or $5 million, I think.
That's less than we've been paying him all for the past 5 years.
McCutcheon's washed though. So.
He is.
Thank you, Jordan, for backing me up.
He's watched. Yeah, I saw another article the other day that the Rays are completely convinced that the lineup that they have right now will be better this year. They won't have the injuries, and they'll all show up.
Forgive me if I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it. Jordan weighing in on the NIL. My solution for the NIL abuse is simple. Once you sign with a school, you get one school jump to use. Once you use that, you are locked in. Only waiver to exceed that is if your head coach leads the program. I don't like necessarily limiting the freedom of the players to move, because even after one transfer, you go to another situation and it just doesn't work out. So I have a hard time. There needs to be rules on it, you know. I think unlimited would be crazy, but I'd say you got to have more than one. You got to have two, and then maybe you have to sit out a year, but or you need a waiver or a coaching change. But I think more than anything, we've got to get hold of the NIL deal, but the money has to go to the players. The money has to go to the players, and whether we do collectives and schools run these deals or whatever, I'm not real in favor of. I think it just needs to be a pro model. You got to have a CBA with the college players and the schools, and the schools as an entity of a professional situation. That just, to me, is the only way to do it. They had to go to the NFL model. At least we'll have some sanity about it. You're still playing on campuses. You're still got all the tradition and all that stuff. If you keep the rivalries and all that, but it's just got to be. It's time to just do the right thing for the players. And the only way to do it is the way the NFL is doing it, in my opinion. Michael Hall, I'm more interested in the pending offseason intrigue for the Bucs than this game. I hear you, but we got a game, so sorry. We got an all offseason to do that. I can't stand when shows. The NBA does this a lot. Like, they're constantly talking about where LeBron's going to go in the middle of the freaking finals, or Durant, or just like in the middle of the damn finals. They're talking about next season and where people might go. I don't give a rat's ass. Let's play the season and then we'll figure it out. Bucs dominated 19-3. I don't care if it's the first game. They're dominated. Sorry, bro, but that's a totally different team than than these two teams that we're facing right now. It was 20 weeks ago. Teams evolve, players evolve, coaches evolve or devolve. And if you think the Bucs are running for 152 yards like they did in game one against the Cowboys, you're out of your mind. And that's the only reason they won the game. So I think if you're looking at that game, it's totally different lineups in a lot of different ways up front. So no, I don't look at that at all. Last year against the Rams, Brady took 15 hits. Playoff games, he stands in the pocket. Absolutely, he does. He will. But the problem is, what about the 12th hit if he gets hurt? That's the problem. Randy Cobb says, may take Super Bowl for Vea, was out injured 3 games before he came back to the Bucs. We're struggling big time. He came back at the start of the playoffs, and the team turned it to a monster. Well, that helped out tremendously, and I think he'll be playing this week. And Mark Halliday says he loves your old school Bolts hat.
My hat game is unbelievable on this show.
Yeah.
Pay attention to my hats, JP, every time I come on here.
Yeah, he does. He has a strong hat
game.
Strong. He's got the Lightning on today for the big one last night, I guess. All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, James Petracca will join us from Fox Sports, and we'll get his thoughts on the Bucs and all the other games going on this weekend. Some interesting things going on with Lamar Jackson. Man, he put out a statement on his injury. When's the last time you've seen a player do that? A lot of intrigue there. So quick break. James Petracca, Fox Sports, will join us. Stay with us.
For Italiano Insurance. If you've started a side hustle during COVID and the business has grown, well, you need business insurance, because if you get sued, you could lose all your personal wealth if you're not properly protected. That's right. Your home, your savings, everything could go. So get protected now. Call the great agents at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799, and a real human will answer the phone and get you protected. If you haven't shopped your business insurance in a while, you could be overpaying by thousands. One customer had their golf buddy handling his business insurance, then called Italiano to shop it around, and they saved him $26,000 a year. Yeah. So call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Italiano Insurance, protecting all the pieces of your life for over 60 years. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida. Hey, folks, it's still engagement season, and where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source? The Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country, a literal jewelry super center with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. You don't have to wait to spend any extra time waiting for them to bring something in. They have everything right there in-house, so why go anywhere else? And you can get up to 15% off this January if you buy something with the birthstone, which is garnet. Garnet and gold, Florida State, get something for your favorite Seminole. And let's not forget the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Very affordable, real gold and diamond jewelry, always stylish and unique. Emily has created this fashion-forward gold, diamond, and gemstone jewelry line ideal for everyday wear. Each piece is designed to enhance your look by featuring eye-catching, modern geometrical shapes. Really unique stuff. Got to check it out. And, of course, Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors here in the local community. So let's keep it local. And you can get 0% financing for up to 5 years. Get a big ring for a little price. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Don't forget, just 2 more days left to get your health insurance at the marketplace. And if you need help with that, we have a great company that is there to help you out. 888-325-0605. They're trained reps. We'll do the work for you and find out what your subsidy will be in the health insurance marketplace. You can get great insurance for $20, $30, $40, $50 a month. Just call 888-325-0605 and get great coverage. 888-325-0605. The 15th is when the early enrollment ends. So go get covered with health insurance. It's a great, great plan. All right, let's bring in our good friend James Pichaka from Fox Sports, works with the Chris Myers Group, traipsing around the NFL. And I'm guessing you've seen just about every one of these teams that are in the playoffs this morning. Good morning to you, James. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Fantastic. First of all, let's start with the Bucs and the Cowboys. It's a very intriguing matchup. I came on record this morning as saying I just don't see from an X's and O's standpoint how the Bucs keep up with the Cowboys offense. I hope that Brady's experience and all that, the home field advantage makes a difference, but I don't know. I gotta believe that the Bucs are who we think they are at this point, which is a not a very explosive offensive football team, and the Cowboys are. What do you think?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think that, and as far as the Cowboys, I think we'll definitely see a better team than played Washington last week.
Yes,
that was just kind of a similar to the Bucs game, which is kind of almost like a preseason game against Atlanta. But yeah, I think that it's going to be hard. The Bucs have kind of gotten by. You play bad for 55 minutes, and then Brady brings them back at the end. And I think they're going to have a tough time doing that against Dallas, because I think Dallas is, one of the better teams in the NFC. And like you say, they can score a lot of points. So the Bucs are going to have to play, well from the beginning. If they fall behind, or if they struggle early, I think they're going to have a really hard time.
Yeah. And I look at the coaching matchup too, and I say, Dan Quinn's got a season full of material now to look up on Brady and the Bucs. And I just feel like with the talent that he has on defense, he's going to come up with a scheme that's really going to frustrate Brady. And will they be able to make adjustments? I haven't seen a whole lot of that from the Bucs this year. Talk about that matchup a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Dan is one of the better defensive coordinators in the league, and I think he's shown, and he's very good at game planning, matching up, and I think that he'll definitely have something, for the Bucs that'll be a struggle. I don't think he'll leave Mike Evans one-on-one 3 times, like the Panthers did. And they had, Micah Parsons, obviously he's a great player. Like I heard that your guy you had on the other day, one of the better players, pass rushers in the league. So if they can get pressure and coverage, I think it's going to be tough for the Bucs.
That was Brady Tinker, our Cowboys expert, and he sent me a couple notes this morning, and this was interesting. Micah has played 900 plays, 900 defensive snaps this year, which is 160 more than Nick Bosa, who's one defensive player of the year. So that's a lot. I mean, he's been on the field a lot, and he's not a huge guy. He said he started the season about 240. He's probably down to about 230 now. So, maybe, but this is the playoffs, right? This is where you make your hay, right? So what do you think about Parsons, and will he be a factor in this game?
I think he will. I think, like you say, he's maybe a little one down, but you get up for the playoffs, and I think he'll get up, and I think he'll make some plays. I think he'll definitely be a factor. It'll be interesting to see what, with Ryan Jensen, if he comes back. I think he'll give an emotional lift if he's back. You don't know how, sitting out, he hasn't played since training camp. So it's going to be tough to see, plus recovering from a knee, to see how effective he can be. But I think he would definitely give the team an emotional lift.
I think it'd be interesting to see from an X's and O's standpoint if, and this is something the Bucs did really, really well back in 2020 and in 2021, is using that extra offensive lineman. They'd go with that heavy package, and they'd bring in Josh Wells, or, they would not only use it for the run, but they would use it for max protect for Brady. And I could see them using Ryan Jensen in that fashion as well. I mean, he's obviously a smart guy. He's versatile. You could certainly, but he can run, he can knock people off the ball. And if you need to get your running game going and you need to get that movement up front, that might be something that is a little wrinkle that Byron Leftwich could throw in there. What do you think?
Definitely. Yeah. I think that'd be a great idea. I think it'd be very effective to bring him in that role and get a little bit of extra, and probably something that the Cowboys haven't seen. So, they may not necessarily, but catch them off guard a little bit.
All right, you had the 49ers. Well, before we move on to 49ers, you'll be working with Westwood One on Monday night in the booth. Is Kurt Warner coming in to do the game?
Yeah. Kurt Warner is in. Yep.
Have you guys had a production meeting or anything and got his take on what he sees going on with this Buccaneers offense?
I haven't. Yeah, we don't really do those for radio. They don't. They just kind of do it. Yeah. So I did the Saints game with him, and he was befuddled. I think I told you, by the Bucs offense. He couldn't figure out, why they're struggling. And then, and he said afterward, he said, Brady for 50 minutes looks like he can't do it anymore. Then all of a sudden, boom, he brings him back. So he was, I know he's had more time to study, since then. So I'll be able to talk to him a little bit Monday night. But we don't do meetings for the radio ahead of time.
We'll just get him on our show on Monday.
Okay.
Let's make sure that happens. Yeah, let's get Kurt on Monday. We'll get it right from him. All right. So talk to me about.
You'd rather have Kurt than me?
No offense, James. He's got a better background.
Just a little bit.
Not only his background, but a background in his shot, I'm sure, is way better than yours. He's probably got a couple.
Yeah, that too.
Party trophies or right, an MVP. You don't have any of that. Why
gold jacket.
Just little things. All right, so I look at the 49ers, and, of course, we got to see him up close and personal with Brock Purdy, and I just don't see anybody in the NFC, including the Eagles, although it could be only because Jalen Hurts is hurt. And I just don't think they're the same team. They've lost some guys on defense. Are the 49ers the team to beat in the NFC?
I think so. Absolutely. I was really impressed when I saw them last week. Granted, they were playing Arizona, but still, they're in my opinion, the best team in the NFC. And they just have so many weapons.
Yeah.
You know, with McCaffrey and Ayuk and, you know, Samuel's come back and Kittle and, you know, and Purdy. I'm very impressed with Purdy. Very impressed when meeting with him. He's not very big. He was smaller than I thought. But, you know, very impressive guy. The moment it doesn't seem too big for him. And the thing is, he doesn't have to. Like in the game last week, he threw a 5-yard pass to McCaffrey. McCaffrey runs 25 yards for a touchdown. I mean, that's all he's got to do. You know, he doesn't have to carry the team. Now, if they get in a situation, if they fall behind and he has to bring them back and carry them, that could be. But overall, though, yeah, I think they are the best team in the NFC.
And they're favored by 10 over the Seahawks. That's a Saturday 4:30 game. I can't make a case for even Seattle keeping it close. So I think I'd lay the points and take the Niners. I think they want to make a statement in this one. All right, Chargers in Jacksonville, Saturday night at 8:15. I know you've had the Jags a couple times this year, and Trevor Lawrence has just really matured into a very good playmaker. But again, it's the playoffs. Well, I mean, he's been in big games, obviously national championship games, and this Chargers team, I'm sorry, Brandon Staley, you're a knucklehead. He plays his starters into the second half. Mike Williams and Joey Bosa both get hurt. I think they're both going to play this week, but this guy is a disaster, Brandon Staley, as a head coach. I'm sorry. This Chargers team should be way better than it is, and I don't trust them. I like the Jaguars in this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, especially playing at home and the way, you know, Doug Peterson, you know, has proven. I think he gives Jacksonville the edge in this game.
Yeah, I would agree, and that's a 2.5-point spread. All right, we move on to Sunday. The Dolphins and the Bills. Tua is not playing. Skylar Thompson will be starting for the Dolphins. I think the kid can play. He can throw the ball. I think they need to let him throw a little bit more. And if they're going to win this game, they got to let him go and take some chances. But I still don't see how the Dolphins win it at Buffalo. They suck in the cold weather, although they played well earlier this year, but that was with Tua. They're 13.5-point underdogs. I got nothing for Miami here. Nothing.
I agree. I think it's an easy win for the Bills Sunday.
All right, we got Giants and Vikings. This is an interesting one. Sunday at 4:30. Did you have the Vikings at all this year? They're such an enigma. I mean,
I've had them a couple times, and they look really good, or they look, you know, really bad, and then, you know, a couple, you know, they've won some close games where they had to come from behind, and so it's tough to figure out which team shows up. You know, we had the Giants too, and I was really impressed with the Giants when we had them too. So I think this is a close game. I think the Giants could give them a game.
All right, that's a 3-point spread. Minnesota's favored in that one. I think a lot of money coming in on the Giants as the 6th seed to upset Minnesota, who's been with 12 games they won by a score or less. Crazy. All right, the Ravens are at the Bengals. No Lamar Jackson. You saw his statement yesterday, basically saying he's got his knee is not stable and he can't play. And some of the stuff that's been coming out of John Harbaugh's mouth is weird. He just hasn't really said that. It should be pretty simple. He can't play, move on. But all this is talk about this is a contract holdout. I don't buy any of that. It's just the kid can't play. And if he doesn't play,
I agree.
The Ravens don't have much of a chance. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. And I actually think the Bengals are in my opinion, I think they might be the team to beat in the AFC. I think they're playing really well. They had the experience from last year, and I really like Joe Burrow. He's got something. He's got that little swag, and I think they're going to. Yeah, I think I don't think give the Ravens much of a chance in that one.
Yeah, that'll be 8:15 on Sunday night, and the Bengals are now 8.5-point favorites. And I love Joe Burrow. I look at him and Mahomes, and there's something about Joe Burrow. He gives you that kind of that Tom Brady feel. You know, that he's just going to find a way to win. He's going to find a way to win. All right. Then, of course, we talked about the Cowboys and the Bucs. And you have a pick on that one? Who are you going with?
I think I'm going to give a slight edge to the Cowboys. I think it'll be a good game, but I think I would go with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I said that in the beginning. I think the Cowboys are going to win 27-17. I just think their offense is too explosive for the Bucs to keep up, and I just don't see how the Bucs will sustain drives offensively when they just haven't done it all year. And it's a pretty good defense they're going up against, and teams that can rush the passer give the Bucs fits, and that's exactly what the Cowboys do. Third in the league in sacks with 54 sacks. So to me, that's going to be the difference.
Yeah. So I was tell you, I know you had the interview with Rondé you're playing next. We did a little. I was trying to do a little recruiting for the Valspar Celebrity Pro last week in San Francisco. We got Robbie Gould, the kicker for the Niners, who's a really good player. I mean, he's like a 1 or 2 handicap. And I also talked to Brock Purdy about playing in it. And he said he's not much of a golfer, but he said he'd be interested in to get in touch with him after the season. So I'm kind of multitasking there.
Very nice.
Rondé's got me working for him, so that's good.
Of course, why not? Yeah. No, he's going to get a great field here, and I know we were talking about it yesterday that the Valspar is kind of in the middle of 4 events that are elevated or majors, and you're a little concerned that the field won't be great, but I think with his charisma, and he knows so many of these players on the PGA Tours, and it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no to Rondé, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Smile. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever you need, partner.
Yeah.
We shall see. All right. Anything else going on your plate in the NFL? Any other issues out there that you want to chat about?
No, just kind of excited for this weekend. This weekend and next weekend, I think are the 2 best of the NFL season. When you have all the different the playoff games, and so it'll be exciting to see how everything shakes out.
All right, we shall see. Thanks, partner. Appreciate it. We'll chat with you on Monday. See you at the game.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, JP. Have a good weekend.
Then we'll get Kurt Warner to come on. We'll tackle him in the booth and say tomorrow you're coming on with us to break it all down. I really do. I love him as an analyst. I would love to see him on as one of the main analysts for Fox. He works for Fox, right? Yeah, he works for Fox.
I don't think he's on Fox, is he?
I think he is.
I thought he was always on NFL Network.
Yeah, but I think he does some work for Fox too. It's so hard. They're all crisscrossed now.
It's been such a shuffle this past year. I'm losing track of everyone.
But I love watching. He does these long form videos on YouTube, the quarterback breakdowns, and they're really, really good. He really, go watch the one that he did on Brady, and that midseason Brady was not good. Not good.
No. Yeah, you just ran down the games there, and I got to tell you, my biggest game that I'm keeping my eye on here is Jacksonville and Los Angeles. I don't know. I'm drawn to that game for whatever reason. I think it's because I saw the crowd for the Titan game that they had there in Duval.
Oh, they're going crazy in Duval.
And I have to think they're going to be even better in this one.
I would challenge Bucs fans that atmosphere that and obviously it's all new to them. They've been waiting a long time to get back in the running. So we're a little spoiled here, right? We shouldn't be, but we are.
They had a nice little run 5 years ago.
Yeah, but I want to see the Buck crowd just be dominating on Monday night, and I think there's going to be a ton of Cowboy fans. I looking at the sales. You go look online, and I know the Bucs were, they still had plenty of tickets to sell, outside of their season tickets, and I hope season ticket holders I think a lot of Bucs fans that have gone and watched the games this year, they got to have a sour taste in their mouth. It's been bad. I mean, the games are hard to watch.
It's a playoff game, though.
I know
it's a playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night. If you have a ticket to that game and you can go and you're entertaining, it.
No, you don't sell. But I'm just saying, I kind of understand. Think about what they paid for this year and what they've gotten.
I don't know. I think when you factor in, I think when you factor in, and I didn't really factor it in at first, but the fact that it could be Brady's last game, as a Buccaneer.
Oh my God!
If it goes wrong,
it's terrible. I mean, if you were to sell,
I know you shouldn't think like that. I'm just putting it out.
You have to think about it as a fan. I think you got to go into this and say, look, I know it's been dreadful all year, but it's hard. I mean, people have experienced this. They've gone to the games, paid all this money, tailgated, waited in line, got in, hot, waited. Being a fan is hard. It's hard. You want to get rewarded. And how many times have the fans just sat there for 3.5 quarters and just gone, this is awful. Why am I paying this money? Why am I putting myself through this torture? Right? And then they come back and they win. Half these fans probably already left. So, I mean, I get it a little bit, but you have to override that emotion.
But you're saying
this is Brady's last game. It could be his last game here. It's the Cowboys. It's the Bucs on a Monday night. If they win it, and they come back and you're sitting there at home, you're gonna be kicking yourself.
So you'd love to see a crowd like we got in Jacksonville, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I want to see people go nuts, and I want it loud and crazy, and I want it 95% Bucs fans, but it's not going to be that. It's not.
Do we have any special? Are we reading out this game? Are we doing anything special here for this one for the fans? Do we know of?
I don't know.
I haven't heard of that. Are we going to put? See, we need to do the old school flags.
Yeah, the flags.
The whole flags thing they used to do.
Yeah,
I think they did that last year for the Eagle game. Maybe I'm not sure, but the old school flags, get it going. I mean,
I haven't heard of any of that stuff.
I'm sure they'll probably have something passing out flags or towels.
And they're doing pewter tops, white pants, right? Is that what I heard? Or
pewter top? No, white on pewter.
White on pewter.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be for the uniform people out there.
Like me.
There you go. All right, quick break. When we come back, we'll hear from Rondé Barber. Great stuff yesterday on the Cowboys-Bucs matchup. So we'll hear from the Hall of Famer on that. We are brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. If you think you need some testosterone replacement therapy, which if you are an American male, you do, that's what the numbers tell us. So go get your numbers checked out and get a personalized, medically supervised testosterone treatment plan, not one of these one-size-fits-all testosterone clinics. Don't go that way. This is the way you need to go. And Chris Lugo is the best in the business at it. We'll hear from him again on Monday. But in the meantime, get an appointment at BAMMC.com. Back in 3. Stay with us.
Time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Well, it's that time of year to renew or shop your health insurance provider, and you can get great health insurance for $20, $30, $50 a month. Just call 888-325-0605 to help navigate the health insurance marketplace. 1 out of 3 people in Florida are uncovered because they think they can't afford it. Not true. I made the call a couple of years ago, and they helped me get Blue Cross Blue Shield coverage, Florida Blue, for just $20 a month. Last year, it went up to $49. Oh, well. It all depends on your income and your family situation. It's a free call, 888-325-0605. They will ask for some income information. So if you have your tax returns available, that will be great, but you don't need it. They'll just answer some simple questions, and the highly trained reps will do the work for you to find out what your subsidy will be. 888-325-0605. And if you have a plan through your employer, you may be able to get it cheaper. It's a free call, so find out, folks. This has been a lifesaver for me and saved me thousands of dollars over the last few years, and you can choose your plan. It's a no-brainer. Find out. Make the free call. 888-325-0605. Get covered like me and thousands of others. 888-325-0605.
Pure Sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We appreciate you guys jumping in here each and every day. You can always watch us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, at fanstreamsports.com or the jppetersonshow.com, and our app. Don't forget to download the app, FanStream Sports, all one word, and you can just tap that app, listen to the show anytime, anywhere. And we thank the Jeeves Law Group for being our sponsor of the second hour, JEEVES lawgroup.com. All right, we had a great chance yesterday to talk to future Hall of Famer Rondé Barber, and you can get that whole interview on any of all those spots I just mentioned. You can check it out, get the whole interview where he talked about his chances of going to the Hall of Fame this year. And certainly as we looked ahead to next year's class, he's definitely getting in next year, but let's just just make it happen this year, for God's sakes, right? Let's just get this done. But he had some great X's and O's breakdown of the Cowboys and the Bucs, and he's been breaking down the Bucs all year long. So he's got one of the best eyes for this type of stuff. So let's listen into yesterday's conversation, a portion of it with Rondé Barber. What are you seeing from the Cowboys right now?
Well, on offense, they were doing things very simple early in the year, and it's because they had to. They had Cooper Rush at quarterback. They weren't trying to put a whole lot on his plate. Dak comes back, and all of a sudden, it turns into how can we showcase Dak Prescott? I think there's somewhat of a failing in that mentality, because this is a team, obviously, to me, that's built on defense, right? They have great players on offense. Pollard, Zeke Elliott, right? The tight end's actually really, really damn good as well. And of course they got Dak, but the defense is really what set this team apart early in the year. I know they've fallen off a little bit over the course of the season, but they're still a team that dominates drop back pass situations. They have really kind of dynamic players on the outside at corner, even though all of them are hurt except for Trayvon Diggs going into this game. But I think they got away from what their identity was that made them successful while Dak was gone, and now that he's back, they're pushing a little too much. They're trying to force the ball to certain receivers. I watch only a little bit of opponents' tape before games, but I did watch the game last week just out of curiosity after the Commanders beat them, and it was probably one of the worst offensive tapes I've seen all year. They were inept. They didn't try to run the football. They kept putting the ball in Dak's hands to throw it, and he just kept making bad reads and bad mistakes. Now, from a Bucs perspective, you hope that continues. But Dallas is a really talented team. I don't think you can really overlook the fact that they only lost 4 games all year. I mean, that's pretty significant to me, even with the mistakes that they had from the quarterback position. So,
don't need to reset this, but for those listening and can't see the little bar there, it's Rondé Barber joining us here. So when you talk about simple, and it was interesting, Mike Evans said that yesterday. They're a simple team, which I think is a great compliment. When you win 12, you don't have to trick anybody. You just line up and whoop their ass.
Right.
And that's what Dallas has done. And my fear is that they go back to that and they start running Pollard and Zeke. Now the Bucs have been able to have success stopping the run when Akeem and Vita Vea play together. I think this team is 6-1 when those two play together. Right. So they'll play this week. Vita's supposed to be up. So it's stopping that run game, the key for the Buccaneers in this game.
Yeah, and they need to be healthy on the outside too. I don't know the status of Carlton Davis, but CeeDee Lamb's tough to deal with, bro. Obviously, it starts up front with us, but I would say that this defense this year is not as predicated on a stop the run, make them predictable passing situations. We're a little bit different in terms of how we're having to stop people this year. We've given up some gash runs this year, some big what is going on in our gap control type of runs this year. And at times they've been really good, and then there's the breakout, and you're like, what just happened? And the reality is I feel like the defense kind of has worn itself down over the course of some games and in the year, and then they just have a mental lapse. They get sick of playing good and then not scoring any points. That's just me personally. It's talking from a defensive perspective. And they give up a big play, which in the playoffs, it can't happen, right? Those things have to clean themselves up. But as important as stopping the run is, I really think we need to be healthy in the secondary. Carlton hadn't played in 2 weeks, and I think he's our best option to deal with, one of the really dynamic receivers in the league.
No question. And you look at the Bucs offense, and obviously it's been totally predicated on the pass. But the game that they played in Dallas, which I thought was their best performance of the year, they 19-3, but they got inside the 30-yard line 5 times and only got field goals. It was a forebearer of things to come with the horrible red zone this year. But the Bucs moved the ball on them, and they ran the ball for 152 yards. Fournette had 21 carries, 127 yards. And we were saying after that game, okay, this is the Bowls influence. We're going to be a balanced team, and if we win every game 19-3, we're happy, right? This is fantastic. Well, it didn't kind of work out that way because we stopped running the football or couldn't run the football. How do you – and we haven't seen a natural evolution of this offense. It's more like, okay, this will be the week. Okay, no. This will be the week. No. So what do you think about this offense going into the playoffs?
I tell you what, JP, I've trained you well over the years. You can speak the game and understand what's going on there, because that's exactly what's happened. I remember in the preseason sitting down with Todd, sitting down with the offensive coaches, and them telling me very specifically, we don't want Tom to throw the ball 45 to 50 times a game. There's going to be some games, and it happened to be the first game of the year, where we're just going to have to go force our will and bludgeon people in the running game. I don't care if we run the same run 3 times in a row, we're going to do it. And in that game, you kind of felt like, the offensive line, the running back, the intention of it was we're going to do exactly that. But then as the year went on, because we couldn't find any success, and on top of not being able to run the ball and not being able to convert third downs, Brady been off, the receiving corps was off a little bit earlier in the year. All you're doing is turn around and putting the ball. I mean, Jake Camarda's our MVP, buddy. And I watched the entire year. We won about 5 games because the punter was really good this year. Yep. And those things matter to an average football team. Well, we're not an average football team. We're a talent-laden football team that has played somewhat average for most of the year and found a way to sneak out some kind of unimpressive wins. But the reality is, when you have the type of talent that we have, you can overcome some of those deficiencies until you get to the playoffs. Now it matters, right? Now it's I like the way Mike Tomlin said it, even though he's not in the playoffs. You're in a single elimination tournament for the confetti. That's all you're doing. You play for one game. And so for whatever it is this week that they're working on, it needs to manifest itself on Monday night, and whether that's running a football against a team that only wants to rush the passer, which Dallas is, or finding a way to get mismatches in the secondary against 3 backup corners. And they signed Xavier Rhodes this week to maybe play this week because they have so many injuries in the secondary. Those type of matchups have to show up this week if we're going to win.
There's Rondé Barber, and I couldn't agree more on those matchups, and that's why I think that was his nice way of saying this is a tough challenge for the Buccaneers. It really, really is. And but you can always count on the Cowboys choking in the playoffs.
I'm certainly counting on it. And what was your repeat your pick again for this game?
27-17.
I think it's about my time to make my
Cowboys.
pick right here.
All right, go ahead. We got one more break, so if you want to leave the people on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, I'll save it for the end.
Oh, there you go.
I'll save it for the end. I'll save my pick for the end.
All right, quick break. We'll come back and wrap things up with. I'm going to get into a little bit more of the Jaden Rashada. Is that the way you pronounce that? The new the NIL darling of the world with the Gators. It's a big story and has a lot to do with what the future of college football holds. So we'll talk about that. Get your pick when we come back. Stay with us. Hey, folks, it's still engagement season, and where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source? The Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country, a literal jewelry super center with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. You don't have to wait to spend any extra time waiting for them to bring something in. They have everything right there in-house, so why go anywhere else? And you can get up to 15% off this January if you buy something with the birthstone, which is garnet. Garnet and gold, Florida State, get something for your favorite Seminole. And let's not forget the Emily collection from Emily Johnson Weintraub. Very affordable, real gold and diamond jewelry, always stylish and unique. Emily has created this fashion-forward gold, diamond, and gemstone jewelry line ideal for everyday wear. Each piece is designed to enhance your look by featuring eye-catching, modern, geometrical shapes. Really unique stuff. Got to check it out. And, of course, Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors here in the local community. So let's keep it local. And you can get 0% financing for up to 5 years. Get a big ring for a little price. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Are you concerned your spouse might be cheating or want to locate a long-lost relative or love? Or a missing person and the police are not helping? An insurance adjuster who needs proof of injury. Hi, I'm Rachel D'Antonio from Tampa Bay's premier private investigation agency, Emerging Investigation. We have a proven track record of results. Local attorneys and insurance companies hire us to discover insurance fraud and crucial information in criminal cases. We can help in custody matters, and we devote a tremendous state-of-the-art technology and cutting-edge industry surveillance techniques to get you trusted results. Larger corporate agencies can be more expensive and do not offer the personal level of customer service and interaction that we pride ourselves on. We are a family-owned business. Our professional experience team includes my son, lead investigator Zach D'Antonio, a former collegiate athlete, and my daughter Emily, who leads our in-house investigations team. Don't take matters into your own hands by trying to install snooping programs on phones or GPS trackers. That can cause unneeded stress and give you inaccurate results. Go with the professionals at Emerging Investigations. We have proven results and tremendous testimonials from our satisfied customers. Call for a free consultation and we can discuss how we can help. Peace of mind is as valuable as bad news. Just go to our website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's emerginginv.com. We're Emerging Investigations. We get results in life's biggest matters.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, last segment before Wild Card weekend here. Brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Get those insurance products all shopped around, your auto, your home, your business. Just let them do the whole insurance checkup here as the new year starts. You could save thousands and hundreds of dollars, whatever it might be. Just call the great folks up there. A human being will answer the phone, and they will get some information and save you tons of money. It's not just what you make, folks. It's what you keep, and insurance products are pricey these days. So if you can save a few dollars here and there, why not do it? It's a free call and a free service. So let them check it out, shop it around, and see if they can save you some money. All right, Mr. Picker over there, you want to go through all the NFL games again? We kind of went through them with James, but we can do it. Get your takes on these as well. Seahawks at San Fran. It's going to be a wet one, by the way.
A wet one, huh?
Yeah, they are absolutely deluged in California. They went from the worst drought ever to flooding, and it just seems to happen in California. Nothing's ever normal there.
It's true. Like it's true.
One extreme or the other. What do you got? Chargers.
Well, first of all,
we'll start with San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco. I think it's going to be a little bit closer because I think Pete Carroll is probably the most important piece to Seattle. I think he'll have his team ready to go, but San Francisco, far too talented. Defensive front, far too talented. Brock Purdy, are we waiting for? He may have his rookie moment at some point, but I don't think it's going to happen against Seattle.
I don't think it's enough. You know, he'll make a couple of bad plays, but they're so talented. I just think it's enough to get by these the Seattle Seahawks, who the Bucs throttled. So there you go. Chargers and Jags.
My favorite game outside of the Bucs that I'll be keeping my eye on, and I'm keeping it local here. I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Love Trevor Lawrence. Love Doug Peterson. Not crazy about Brandon Staley and Justin Herbert. Unlike how everybody else feels, I understand he's a great talent, but there's something missing there. That's all I'm going to say.
Coach.
And I don't know if it's just the Chargers in general
staff.
or if it's something with him, but there's something missing in general with that team.
It's when he gets a good, competent offensive staff there and a good head coach,
yeah,
the Chargers will take off.
And you want to talk about meaningless
Brandon
games? They might not have Mike Williams because they played him in a meaningless game.
Yeah, so the Bucs did the same thing, but they got lucky, and the guys didn't get hurt.
Okay, what's next?
We got the Dolphins and Bills. No Tua. Yeah,
you can just move on from that one.
Giants and Vikings. This is a weird one. You just don't know. You can't trust the Vikings. You know, do you really want to trust the Giants?
Danny
Jones
Dimes has been playing really, really good lately.
Yeah.
I feel like too many people are picking the Giants in this game. I'm going with Minnesota.
Yeah.
Too many people are picking the Giants because I don't know. When that happens, I probably go the other way. I'm going Minnesota.
Yeah, that's that New York bias. I take the over in that game. For sure.
The next one, you could just call it Cincinnati and move on as well.
Ravens and Bengals. It started at 6.5. It's now 9.5. And no Lamar Jackson. The Bengals are too good. It's their time of year. The Ravens they're a disaster right now. Defense can play, but with no Lamar and the whole situation going on, it's a little crazy.
Yep.
All right. And now let's get to it. The Cowboys and the Bucs.
I'll let this song be my answer.
Oh,
here.
we got production here?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm very excited. Oh, my God.
BUCCANEERS. Go Bucs!
Throwback, baby.
Hey, Tampa Bay, looks so hot and shine. Hey, Tampa Bay,
You weren't even alive when that sound came out.
Listen, I am a history aficionado of this franchise, and as if I have to say any other words, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are winning this game. James, I see your prediction down there. I'm almost close to yours. I'm going 20-13 Buccaneers. You ask, can they score 20 on this Dallas defense? I say they get 20. I say they barely even need it, though, because I think this defense, Dak's going to throw 2 interceptions. Somebody's fumbling in that game on Dallas. I don't know who, but somebody's fumbling. Count them. 3 turnovers right there. 3. The Bucs win 20-13 and move on.
All right. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right.
Although I hope I didn't just curse them by playing the creamsicle song.
I hate putting I hate putting myself in position of like, I'm not rooting for the Cowboys at all. I hope I'm dead wrong on this one. But my gut just tells me that, and my brain tells me that we shouldn't expect something that we haven't seen all year, and that's the Bucs offense to suddenly be really, really good and be able to outscore the Cowboys. But we shall see. All right. I'm going to talk about the Jaden Rashada story. He is the number one. I guess he's the number one quarterback recruit. Played at IMG and the Gators. Well, he was headed to Miami, right? He was a strong Miami commit and then flipped at the last second and signed with the Gators. There's a reported NIL deal for $13 million that was supposedly negotiated for the Gators. Now, remember, in Florida, the Gators, the teams, the coaches, the programs cannot be associated with the collectives. The collectives have to work independently. So now you have an independent collective who's obviously working for the Gators. These are Gator boosters who are raising money and then paying out these NIL deals in the form of endorsement contracts for the name, image, and likeness. But none of this stuff is public. The numbers are not public. The contracts are not public. There's no salary cap. There's no free agency period. There's no contracts, obviously, with these players in terms of, but there are, when you sign a letter of intent, there are restrictions that come with it. Not many anymore because you can immediately transfer and go into the portal and do whatever you want to do. So the players have so much more power now. So this is a situation where the NIL deal, we don't know exactly, was it reneged on? Was it not? Did they just throw this money at him to get him to sign the letter of intent and then make it harder for him to leave? His father says that they are not pulling out at University of Florida, but today there's the last day of dropping out. It's a mess. It's a complete mess, and nobody knows what's going on. And I'm here to tell you that this is the way it's going to go for every player as we move forward with this until somebody gets a hold on what's going on in NIL. And it's, the only thing that's waiting in the balance is, of course, all of college football. And as much as this, seems crazy and it's just a bidding war, we're going to have this for almost every single player, offensive lineman, everything, until somebody gets a hold of it. And, I've been calling for some type of blue ribbon panel to get everybody involved. The ones that have the power, the SEC, the Big Ten, they're the big power brokers in this, ESPN, because they hold all the money purse strings. And they're going to decide expansion. They're going to decide everything. So, and unfortunately, the powerful programs are going, if they do this the right way, are going to have to cede some of their power and some of their money into a collective that covers all of college football. I don't see any other way of really making this work. Do you?
It's at the point I don't have the answers for this stuff anymore. I just don't have the answers. But the thing is, we can come up with all these solutions, but I don't think the NCAA or whoever, does anybody really pull the strings?
NCAA has no power.
There's
anymore.
There's no power anymore. So we can
and
come up with
they're the
solutions.
only one that has had a collective power over all the institutions, but that's gone now.
Yeah, it's like we can come up with solutions, and coaches can fire off at what's going on, and they can call it the wild, wild west all they want, but nothing's going to change. At least I don't think so. I think this is a symptom of the system, though, that whoever
has to change.
That someone created, but I just don't see that changing.
Something has to change. Otherwise, it's unsustainable at this level. And where's the money coming from? And it's It's bizarre.
And I mean, I don't know if there's been backlash towards Rashada specifically, but
I hope not.
I hope not.
No,
like
he's just given the system he was dealt.
Exactly.
And there is. I hear people say, "Well, he's all about the money." Well,
and,
you know
and
what?
This seems,
Wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
If somebody's going to pay you $13 million and you haven't,
as an 18-year-old kid,
18-year-old kid, you haven't done anything
Kidding
in
me?
college football, you grab the money and run.
This just feels though like also like the underlying thing here. Let's look at the players that are involved. Miami and Florida.
Yeah.
There's an underlying, obviously, rivalry here.
Sure.
That's involved.
Yeah.
Egos of both programs
Right.
kind of
And you've
going
got,
at each other.
The Ruiz booster down in
Exactly.
Miami.
And
He's publicly proclaimed,
I think that's what it
$1
is.
billion in or whatever it is.
I think that's
and
what
I'm
it
gonna
is.
buy, I'm going to buy it
Yeah.
every team. And now here comes this quarterback. He's the And this is what we're going to get into.
I think Florida's trying. They saw the whole thing that's going down there. They really wanted this guy. They decided to get into this bidding war, quote unquote. And maybe it was a little, they bit off a little bit too much they can chew. And their NIL collective clearly was like, we're not really comfortable throwing $13 million out for one player.
Yeah.
You need to reevaluate this. And he said, okay, well then I'm going.
Yeah. He's already signed his letter of intent.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll certainly track that. All right. Hey, last thing, Tristan Wirfs was named the good guy, got the good guy award from the writers, professional football writers that cover the Buccaneers. And that award is now going to be named the Mark Cook Memorial Good Guy Award. And that goes to the guy that was the best with the media, basically. And that's great that they're naming it after Mark Cook, who worked with Peter Report, and a good friend of mine. And so many Buc fans know him well, and passed away a year and a half ago, I think it was now. So going to be just missed tremendously. Always is missed tremendously. I just loved his sense of humor, and his name now will live on in a very appropriate way in this award. So well done, Greg Auman, and all the guys and the girls the ladies that put some thought and effort into that. All right, that'll do it for us this week. We had a lot of fun this week. Some great guests with Rondé Barber. Go check out that full interview on our YouTube channel. You can also find it on Twitter and Facebook as well. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Monday morning with a huge preview. We'll also obviously be breaking down the games from the weekend and be looking ahead with some special guests from Dallas joining us on Monday. So we'll see you then at 10. Have a great weekend, everybody. Go Bolts.